All right. Welcome back. Welcome back. We're back in the building. Trey from the Harmonic Trading Club. We are doing this live broadcast over again or podcast. This morning I got up at 6:30 a.m. when it was scheduled and I attempted to do the show, but I was all over the place, barking, sneezing, coughing, nose dripping, running. It was just all bad. I got through the show, but I had to delete the show. And once I felt a little bit better, I said I'll come back around and try to do it. Um, I've decided to make a couple of changes. I'm going to try to make this more of the same way it is with our classes, the workshops, and the academy, and just let it be just like open and accessible because just coming in and just dropping a bunch of information, that's just not me. I can't get down like that. That being said, you can see that there's a disclaimer on the screen. This video is for educational and informational purposes only. It does not contain financial investment or trading advice. Trade at your own will. You do what you will with your capital. I'm not responsible for that. Consult with a financial advisor of your choice before putting your capital at risk in these very volatile markets where you can lose not some but all of your capital if you don't know what you're doing. Pretty sure a lot of people are aware of that because this industry has a 95% failure rate. Today, okay, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to bring it back to you guys. We're going to be talking about energy. I know it's so easy to talk about tech. Remember, we're just going to kind of open this up a little bit, but I'm still going to stick to the same topics that I want to cover so that I can continue to build that baseline so that when we really jump right back into like trading and stuff like that, what I'm trying to do is I want to make sure that we know where we are, okay? Because as I always say, everybody's just lying to you all over the place, so you're getting whipsawed and pulled and told this and told that. And then, the way that I approach it is I want you to know where you are. I want you to know what's going on. I just take that to heart very seriously. And that's my whole reason. That's why I do what I do. It's going to be energy, but as I was explaining earlier, a lot of people are not aware of the various sectors that exist. The sectors are what the hedge funds go by, your institutional money, your big money, that's going through the different sectors. So we started talking about the sector XLT, which is the technology sector, and we've done a few of those, a lot of the tech stocks. And today, and maybe a couple of times this week, we might just hit some of the XLE sector. That's the energy sector XLE. And the reason I want to do XLE is because right now, in terms of movement, see, nobody wants to tell you anything. That's big. Look at what the biggest investment in the world is right now. Okay, so one, of course, is tech and AI and quantum computing, no doubt. Financials, banking, all of that stuff is going to be on the move too, with just different things that are happening with rates all over the world. Those are going to be big. Energy, okay? Look at how big the reserves are in Venezuela, which are the largest in the world, even larger than Saudi Arabia. Now, with the United States now having access to that because of whatever agreements that we're putting in place or whatever is happening over there, and that's happening one way or another, that's allowing your largest companies in energy and oil companies to come over there and set up shop. It is basically going to explode and expand energy, oil, petroleum, etc. Full stop. All they have to do is go over there. They'll get a license. They'll be able to go and refine and dig and do whatever they want over there. Okay. So I'm going to look at the sector, right? XLE sector, but then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go grab some of the leaders out of it. I'm going to try to key in on the leader, but we're going to pull out about 5 of them so you guys can see and understand what's going on. So by the time we're done with this, you have an idea of what's going on with the XLE sector and some of the more pertinent, prominent energy stocks. And you can leave your questions and comments, and I'll try to answer them. Not saying that I'll be jumping around from chart to chart on everything you want to see, but if you got a question or comment, you can put it in the chat, and then I'll try to answer it if I see it. So that being said, let's jump into XLE. So that's what you see me looking at right now, the XLE sector. Um, Here's the XLE sector. Of course, because I'm always on the charts and I had done the work this morning, most of the technical analysis is already done. So one of the things that y'all know I like to do is I like to be aware of where we are, how did we get there, and where are we going, all right? So, because I don't like to be in the dark. I don't like to be lost. XLE is a very interesting story, okay? So as you can see, its bullish trend, I should say, trend started way, way, way back around Tariff Day, okay? First week of April. For whatever reason, it found support there. So the good thing I like about the way that I break the markets down is you can't really dispute it. If I'm showing you something, that's that. So you can go fight with it with somebody else, or if you see something else and want to make something else up of it, then you're perfectly free to do so. But I'm going to tell you the story of what's happening with the energy sector. Okay, the whole entire sector, which all of those stocks get traded or invested in by the larger hedge funds and institutions. So this is tariff day right here, first week of April. And if you notice, for whatever reason, it found support there after the crazy little free fall and all of that kind of stuff. It found support down here, the whole entire sector, and then it started to trend. So if we're in January, we're closing out January right now. Now it's April. Isn't that 8 straight months of bullish activity, right? So you see low, high, outside return, new structure high, outside return, trend, new structure high, outside return, new structure high, outside return, trend, new structure high, outside return, new structure high, house. Okay, so you guys get it. So this is the trend that investors would have wanted to get involved in. Okay, of course, like you when you hear that thing where people say the trend is your friend, this is kind of like what they're talking about. You want to get involved in, especially a long run, long term, 8 months to 12 months, 12 months to 36 months, stuff like that, or even longer. In true Harmonic Trading Club fashion, we can talk about one of the things that really kept it going, which was this cipher pattern here. So we'll be able to talk. Just a little bit about harmonics in this video. Bullish cipher pattern field activated, held, and that's what helped it get through the second phase of it. Okay, and then if you want to talk pairing up or combinations and stuff like that, it did have my favorite 3-bar reversal and large engulfing candle, doji, trigger, and entry, and then that helped it take off. Of course, the confirmation that did become support to hold it. Looking right here, that came above the doji and that wick right there. Wick came and retested it. That became support. So a little bit of technical stuff we'll just break down, like, and this will help you guys train your reticular too, so that you can see the market as it reacts harmonically and technically, and then you can like really understand when the market is technically, harmonically, and structurally sound. Okay, so of course that support that was created after that break and close, that worked. Okay, and it continued to have the market off into the move. And the last little set right here, okay, we see this double bottom retest, break and close beyond previous structure, taking this high out, outside return with the structure that's created, 3-bar reversal, engulfing candle, doji, trigger and entry up to the current targets. Okay, so moving as expected, that's what we want to see when we're looking at any chart, any asset. We want to see, is it moving, is it moving as intended? Now, what's next? Right here, we should be close to being overbought, should be maybe, with bearish divergence. That's expected because it's hit a critical part, the 127 extension, okay, from the low to the high. All right, I'm sorry, from this low to this high, 127 extension. You saw him go up there and get it, struggling to go deal with this area some more. After that, one of two things can happen. Distribution, they can start pulling out. That's expected. Okay, or that doesn't have to happen. It could just blow right through there, depending. Maybe something fundamental can just come push it off the chart. Okay, this is the whole entire sector. Remember, that sector, as you can see, is on fire. Okay, so somebody just jumped in and joined the channel. Thanks for coming on. This is a redo of this morning, not a replay. We're just doing the whole entire video over. So if you got questions, I'll go ahead and leave them in the chat. And thanks for joining. I can't really see who it is yet, but so nobody can deny that, okay, that you got a double bottom, break and close, 618, perfect, golden ratio retracement, go up to the extended highs, 127 extension from the right side shoulder to the new created high, boom. And if you get distribution, that's expected, okay? if, and then support should be in that area for this thing to keep going. So no, we stayed on XLE a lot, but that helps you understand what's happening with the whole entire sector. And that covers everything that's in there, okay? So I wanted to move over to something else so that we can have some fun. Let me do something real quick. Wanted to move over um, to one of the other ones. Now, this isn't the biggest one. It's kind of like in the middle, but ELG Resources, they're going to have a part in this whole opening up of Valenzuela. They're going to have a part in it. But what was so cool is I don't think I had ever seen anything like this before. This much of basically what you would call just a harmonic superstructure. And of course, you're only going to see something like this here. Um, Going back, now this goes back really far. This goes back to June of 2022 when all of this stuff started. Okay, so and I am gonna still be coughing, so you guys are gonna have to bear with me. But hey, we're gonna fight it out. We're gonna get through it. Ain't no cutting it off and not doing what we got to do here. I tried that, and that just don't work for me. That's just not a part of my personality. And you guys being part of my community, you should understand. I'm doing this, guys. I'm doing this stuff for you guys. So um, EOG Resources, nothing but harmonics going back to June of 2022. So 3 years of printing nothing but harmonics. Now, I am on a weekly chart too, but as you guys can see, every few weeks one of these completes and then reacts, and most of them react like perfectly for whatever reason, except the current one. We'll talk about the current state where we are now. But look at this: one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine advanced patterns. Now, if you still don't believe that the market moves harmonically, whether you like it, hate it, understand it or not, after you saw this, I don't know what to tell you. You guys, so some people might want to ask, why this strategy? Well, this is only a part of structure analysis, but it's the cream of the crop. It makes it all better, right? So that's why. And you're seeing it. Got some water. We're trying. We're gonna get through it. So, I'm not gonna name them off or really talk about them. I just kind of just wanted to show that because probably one of the most unique things that I've ever seen in all of my times. I saw Bitcoin do something like this before too, and it might have been 8 or 9 like this too. But this even when it dropped down, it still came and gave off a bad pattern. Filled, held. So this is where we are now, but it's really this is the you guys, when you hear me talk about that accumulation phase, that's what you see. It's trying, but there's not enough conviction for EOG Resources to pull out of there yet. So when it filled, it got a reaction, come down, support, react. Something bad, fundamental, something must have happened. I'd have to do the research on it. But it did give one sign of life, okay? Big bearish engulfing candle, doji, trigger an entry, okay, come down. It's holding as support right now. So remember when you hear me talking about structurally sound, still structurally sound as you just saw me illustrate, okay? Engulfing candle, doji, trigger an entry. And at that doji, at the top of that doji's close, that's where the support is. And that's where you see the price action sitting at. Until the next decision, something good needs to happen for EOG. They need to get a government contract or something. I don't know. So not dead, but their decision to continue on has not been made yet. But if the decision does come in, I pretty much got projected targets for it, but there's some things that need to happen to save EOG first. But still, you can't tell me that that's not one of the most fantastic things that you've ever seen. Okay, you can only see something like that here at the Harmonic Trading Club featuring the Harmonic Trading Academy. All right, so now we will move into the leader, okay? And the leader is Chevron. Chevron, okay? Going back, same thing around the tariff, beginning of April, long run, expected distribution, okay? So this coming down here, that's expected after this much of a run like that. Expected distribution, basically cooling off, decisions need to be made. Once the decisions were made, and once that was done, this thing took off like a rocket, almost vertical. And then it was still harmonic. It was harmonically sound when it started going up. So from the swing low to swing high, outside return, okay, expected distribution going up to the extended targets as expected. All right, let me see if there was anything that would have helped trigger that. Not necessarily in terms of a pattern or anything, but anyway. So that's looking at the sector leader, Chevron, so that you can know. Like nobody can come and tell you, oh my God, this or that's happening. No, you know for a fact that this thing has been on a run since April and it's not done yet. Okay. If it pulls back a little bit, that's okay. There's still structure all around it. Matter of fact, I can tell you this area right here, it's always going to have something to say. Okay, so this, what is this, the 162 area? It's always going to have something to say about this. Okay, that's going to be there unless it gets violated. Until that happens, it's structurally sound. Chevron should continue to move. And remember, this is the sector leader. This is the biggest one of all of them. Okay, this is the one that's leading the way, especially when you talk about them being able to recover and get back some of the money they lost in this whole Valenzuela thing. Okay, all right, Chevron. Other big dog you guys know about, and that's mobile or XOM. So I'm just gonna come back just to look at it. Okay. So slowing down, I had to go jump out to the macro, right? To the big chart, right? I had to go out to the month to see. When it was in this consolidated box, it's still construction. It was still structurally sound. It's not like it went and violated and created some lower lows or some lower closes. It kind of consolidated a little bit. But what do you see? What do you notice? Breaking and closing up out of it for at least January. Now, the month's not over yet. January still needs to close above. January still needs to close above 126. But look at where he is right now. He's at 130 right now. He just needs to close above 126. Very, very possible with some of the things that are happening, at least fundamentally. Okay? You see that. So no one can tell you, oh my God, doom and gloom. No. It was already structurally sound and now it's breaking out. Okay? Technically. So let me just come back and see if there's a little bit more to the story. There is. There's 3-bar continuation, bar, doji, well, more of a bar, hammer. Looks like on the week. As long as this can close up out of there, this weekly candle can close up out of there, it's going to be, the conviction is going to be there. And then that would be the time for you to come in and zoom in a little bit closer and start looking for entries and opportunities and stuff like that. But one more closer. And you could do the same thing here too. You could look at a little small trend being formed as this high right here, this high at the 126 area, took out the previous highs, taking out these previous highs right here. Okay, so this gets you H3C, higher high, higher close, H3C principle, outside return, back into support, and you see it react. So technically and structurally sound, so you don't have to be fighting with nobody or fighting with yourself and wondering what's happening. You know, long term on the macro, it's breaking out. If it closes, if January's close takes out everything else that had happened in 2025, you know that something good is on the horizon. All right. So Exxon Mobil, right? That's number 2. The second leader in the XLE sector. All right. This was pretty fun too. A lot of people probably weren't aware of this, but it's having some of the same type of struggles. Who was that was, nah, Exxon's not struggling and Chevron's not struggling. It was ELG that's kind of struggling, okay? So watch how I pair these two together. Remember, that's the reason for breaking these things down by sector so you can see what's happening. Some things you'll see, running with each other. Some things you'll see following a leader. Some things won't be following a leader. But that's the reason that I'm introducing this sector breakdown stuff to you guys. So EOG was struggling to really get on the move, right? Now, when we go back and look at ConocoPhillips, same thing. And he has the help of a bullish cipher pattern on a macro, on a monthly. So when people ask, do these things form on all time frames? You can see the answer is yes. So you got your big boy, the powerful boy. Ask yourself this question, right? Why did once price action come down there, that was the end of the bearish run? This long, long bearish run, right? Let's do this. Long, long bearish run, coming way back. April 1st of 2024. Long, 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 long run. April 1st of 2025 found ground and support in the form of a completed filled cipher pattern. Okay, reacts, comes back down for a retest, not ready. So it's the same thing like I said on EOG. EOG's back, filled, react, came back down, still trying to figure it out. So for whatever reason, these small, so if you notice that, Exxon and Mobil, they're not having a problem at all. The leaders are just running, while your smaller guys inside the sector, EOG, Conoco, and some of the others are lagging behind. They're not able to keep up like that. Don't mean that they're not players. They're just not the leader. Okay, so now you guys got to see that too. What it looks like for the leaders. That'd be like if I went back to tech and I showed you guys like NVIDIA and AMD are going to look different from a lot of the other stuff in tech because those are the leaders, right? Make sense? Okay. So for ConocoPhillips, I don't even really like that as a gas company anyway, but struggling to get going. Okay, retest pushing up. Prices got rejected for January so far, pushed back. Still a black or a green month for January. So what we'll do is we'll just start making our way back, so we can just see a little bit closer what's happening. See if we see anything that's going to tell us anything. So we're on a week now, right? And then maybe this is what happened, okay? So when you're looking on the week, you did get a higher high, higher close, taking out September highs, closing above September highs. So you do get H3C. And then if that happened, you were going to get this expected distribution. Okay, so that kind of helps tell the story. They weren't going to be fully all in on it. Like, you know, it depends on where the money is rotating. You guys know where the money is rotating at now, right? If I were to ask you right now, where's the money rotating? You're going to say Chevron and Mobil, right? Because you saw that with your eyes. Nobody can fool you on that, okay? The money is not necessarily rotating so much for EOG or ConocoPhillips, all right? So you guys kind of understand where that is. It's got the help of that cipher, but this needs to become a trend. I'll put it like this. From right here to up here, outside return, new structure high. This needs to become support so that you can get a new structure high again. Okay, that's what needs to happen to really get up out of there and start testing and taking out this guy. Remember, look left, structure leaves clues. You guys heard that before? So this is an example of that. Taking out those highs to the left. Look left, structure leaves clues. Just want to throw that classic in there. Okay. And last but not least, Schellenberger. Okay. So Schellenberger, even though it has one of the lower prices, so it's not in like the 130s, 140s, 150s like Chevron and Mobil. Schellenberger is actually cheap by those standards, but it is actually one of the ones that has very, very strong bullish upward momentum. Okay, and I'll tell you why too. I'll tell you why. It's because it had a long accumulation phase. If you notice right here, just this long consolidated period. Of course, March, April, consolidated period, and then breaking up out of that and almost vertical. Okay, and almost vertical, including some gaps. So a lot of momentum. So you could look at SMB in the same light that you look at Chevron and Mobil, and then you would prioritize it over EOG and COP ConocoPhillips. And you can see it with your eyes what it's doing. Okay, so I don't need to go too much further back, but just for the sake of it, let me just see. Okay, there is something that I did want to talk about. Oh, that is a beauty. Okay, there's something that I did want to talk about on here. All right, to bring this whole story together. This ain't new. This thing has been flying, and of course, so this makes what, 4 out of 5, 3 out of 5. Advanced pattern, bullish crab. Okay, so now granted that was back in 2020, but it had a run. Expected distribution because it was halfway to the main target. Okay, the target, the main projected pricing was based off the A to D or PRZ, 61%. That's where this thing been wanting to go this time, since way back. Remember, it's about building a story. The charts is going to tell you what's happening. Okay, the charts is going to tell the story, so you're not wondering and guessing. Sometimes you might have to jump back a little bit to see. And it'll help a little bit more if you understand advanced pattern recognition. But then you can see the story. Come up there, get close, Expected distribution come back. Support was formed in that area. Watch this, the support that was formed right there. And then that support held, right? So there's nobody can lie to us or fake us out about that. It rode that for a few months and now it's off to the races. Now, the good thing about it is all there is a retest of where it came from. And then the main area where it wants to go, which is about $79. Okay. So the way I'm looking at this now is that I would consider he's still just a little bit more at $78 versus like a 156 on Chevron. Chevron's 165. He's still only half the price, but it's really making a move. So it's only half the price and value, but still making a very strong move. Probably the strongest move of all of them, if I were to be honest with myself. So wanted to get through those and go ahead and do this breakdown over and get the information out to you guys no matter what I was going through. I just did not feel good not delivering you the content. So and then I could never move forward with talking about some of the others, or I couldn't even do what's next if I didn't come and do this one. So we'll leave it right there. We won't go too long. If it had been a little bit more interactive, then we would go longer. But hey, give this one a thumbs up. Share it if you know a trader that it can help. Subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed, and hit the bell icon so you'll be notified when this stuff comes out. You don't want to miss stuff like that. 30 minutes. Look what we did. Look how much you can learn in 30 minutes. And if you want to know more about any of the stuff that you see on the screen or see me talk about, head on over to the Harmonic Trading Academy, where the academy is broken up into modules. We do have a module on basically everything we talked about here. So module 6 is where you will see the advanced patterns, but I would not suggest that you go straight to that module until you've went through everything else. Go through modules 1 through 5 first before you even start trying to get into advanced pattern recognition, because they don't work. Okay, you'll be one of those traders that say these don't work, and you saw with your own eyes they do work. But if you don't do this, if you don't learn them the right way, you'll say these don't work, and they don't work unless you know how structure works end to end. So you need to know structure analysis end to end. So those beginner traders should definitely start at module 1. So when you saw me like breaking down the trends and stuff like that, when you see me using Fibonacci, all that kind of stuff, when you see some of those easy patterns, double bottoms, double tops, you know, when you hear me talking about that 2618, that double bottom, break and close, 618, so you can understand all of that kind of stuff first. And then you put the patterns on top, okay? It's like the icing on the cake. All right. So that being said, you guys be good. Take care of yourself. I will see you guys on the next video. I'm still trying to decide what I'm going to do. I might try to go live. It's not a promise. I might try to go live maybe Wednesday night, which is going into Thursday night for Forex. The market will be flying at that point for the Forex traders. I'm trying not I can't promise. I can't really commit to it, but it's something I want to do. We've done one already, one HTC FX FX Live. This one, if we can pull it off, it'll be number 2. This all depends on how my body feels. Okay, waking up isn't the issue. Getting through it is. So that being said, you guys be good. Hope you guys enjoy this one. I'll see you on the next one.